the changes, sitting alone each night. Are you expecting to find a love that's right? Darling, open your eyes.
Hi everybody, I'm back. I feel like I have not done one of these videos in so long, and all right, let's get back into it. In my last video around New Year in January, I talked about the things that I wanted to do this year as far as financial growth and being more financially responsible, spiritual growth, and then just like personal growth, dealing with myself, dealing with relationships, things like that. So starting with the first one, financial growth. Nope. I tried really hard. I had a financial planner that I was working with and everything, and that kind of fell through because let's just say that he wasn't who he said he was, and I had to find that out the hard way. And I'm not even gonna go down that road, but I thought that I was talking to a financial planner, and I basically was not. And so I had given him all this personal financial information of mine. And anyway, I mentioned before in previous videos that my dad is sick and he does have cancer. And so with that comes a big financial burden of medical bills and things like that, especially with my dad because he did not have insurance. He does now. Thank you, Jesus Obama. But yes, he has insurance now, but before he did not. So he's still kind of like drowning in debt with his medical expenses and things like that. So I kind of stepped up and said, hey, well, you know what? I will take over some bills for you all. So I have basically acquired 2 more credit cards in addition to the few that I have. I had actually gotten to a point where I just paid all my balances off of my credit cards, and I was extremely happy about that. And then here I come incurring another several $1,000s of credit card debt. But it's my folks. I love them to death. I'll do it in a heartbeat. But so that's kind of where my financial situation stands right now. I don't really have a whole lot of money left over to do a lot of saving and investing and things like that. Spiritual growth, I am still working on it, but I feel like, this is always going to be a work in progress. So it's never going to be a point that I'm going to like say, hey, I'm at that point where I need to be. I've reached that spiritual destination that I've been trying to get to. So I'm not necessarily like upset about that. I know that it's going to take work. It's going to take time, and I'm working through it. Let me just say that I am very, very proud and happy for my daddy. He was always one of those people who I would say that he loved the Lord, he loved God. He didn't always read the Bible, never went to church. He would just send his dues in, and that was it. And it took him getting sick to realize how important it is to be right with God before you leave this place. So that was a big step for him, because he went from a man who hardly even had suits or dress clothes to go to church to just every little extra spare penny he got, he was going buying new ties. I loaded him up with nice dress clothes for Christmas, and he was overjoyed. He goes to church, he goes to Bible study, he goes to prayer meeting. He is in church at least 3 times a week. So I'm just so proud of his growth, and it really has helped me out a lot too. My dad's been through a lot. This cancer diagnosis was a big blow to our entire family, honestly. And so I'm just so thankful every day that he's, here with me, and I see him getting stronger and he's getting better, and his appetite is wonderful. Again, my daddy had lost a lot of weight, Anyway, so as far as spiritual growth is concerned, I'm seeing my dad on the journey that he's on motivates me. Also, being with my boyfriend, who is very big into church as well. Both of those things kind of influence me to be a better person and do better, and make time for the Lord like I should. So for that reason, I am, I'm happy with. I won't say I'm, satisfied 100% with where I am, but I'm happy, to be in the place that I'm in. And I still have a lot of growing to do personally. I'm starting to recognize a lot of things about myself. I'm starting to be more of a retrospective type of person. Things happen, I get upset, and I take a step back and think about what it was that I was so upset about. And I'm really trying harder to do better with that, because I just want to understand what it is that makes me tick in certain situations. Um, I know that I can be a selfish person. That was probably one of the first things that I realized about myself when I was kind of trying to do this whole self-realization thing. I know that I'm a very passive-aggressive person. I know that I am a very I posted a picture on Instagram one day, and it was like the God honest truth. I'm a Pisces, and so I've always felt like a really sensitive person. Like, I'm really loving and friendly, and coochie coo, and flowers and rainbows and all this wonderful stuff. Um, and I'm really nice and giving to people when they're nice and giving to me. But if I'm nice and I'm giving and I'm being this, nice person to you, and then you screw me over or you do something to me, like, I'm trying to murder everything moving. So I'm I'm really, again, it is a process. As far as my relationship goes, we are in a good place. We are in a very good place right now. We have our share of ups and downs and struggles and things like that. But it's really just going to take a lot of, me understanding him understanding me, a lot of compromise. We've been talking now for about 9 months. So, there's still some little quirks of mine that I'm sure he doesn't like. There are things that he does that I don't like, but, you know, it's one of those things you kind of, you deal with it. One of the biggest issues that we were having was just the time that we spend together. Well, it was an issue for me. I mean, I think it's an issue for him too, but he stays so busy that it's just like, it's just one of those things. Like, he doesn't really have, his hands are tied. He he's a drummer, and he also sings with a gospel group, and he does a lot of performing and a lot of traveling. And so, we barely have a spare weekend that we can just kind of hang out and do things together. So we really try to make the most of the time that we have. So if I can only see him once or twice a week for a couple of hours, then, right now that's kind of what we're reduced to. He does have 2 children, and things come up with his kids. Sometimes he needs a sitter. Sometimes he has a child that's sick. Sometimes the kid falls at daycare. What can you do? I have mentioned, some things to him that I was concerned about. I can definitely see him trying, and so I have to give him all the credit in the world for that. At least I know that he cares enough to recognize the things that I say and make changes toward that. So